वहां पे पीछे आपके पास टू द राइट कॉर्नर आ रही है वहां पे, एंड सामने। बहुत बढ़िया, आई होप चुप तो नहीं रही हो आवाज। ग्रेट, कैसे हैं आप सब? बढ़िया, सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं, लग ही नहीं रहा बढ़िया। कैसे हैं आप सब? थोड़ा सा लगा भी। आप सभी ने एक अभी पिक्चर आई थी बहुत फेमस, जवान, उसमें एक शेर इस्तेमाल हुआ था शाहरुख खान की आवाज में। किसी को वो शेर याद है? वसीम बरेलवी साहब का शेर था। एनीबॉडी जिसको याद हो? मैं याद आपको दिला देता हूं। शेर था, उसूलों पर जहां आंच आए तो टकराना जरूरी है। वाह वाह, कौन करेगा? वाह वाह। उसूलों पर जहां आंच आए टकराना जरूरी है, जो जिंदा है तो फिर जिंदा नजर आना जरूरी है। तो आप जब थोड़ा जिंदा नजर आइए, जोरदार तालियां होनी चाहिए, एनर्जी होनी चाहिए, तभी हम हमारे नेक्स्ट गेस्ट को बुला पाएंगे। जो अगला सेशन है, मुझे कहा गया है वो मेनली यंगस्टर्स के लिए है, बट मुझे आप सभी यंगस्टर्स नजर आ रहे हैं। और जितना एआई यंगस्टर्स के लिए जरूरी है, उतना ही सभी सिटीजन्स के लिए भी जरूरी है, बिकॉज एआई सिर्फ एक टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं है। एआई इज गोइंग टू बी द फिफ्थ revolution of the world, and that's what the next session is going to be about. It's going to be an insightful conversation on how the fifth industrial revolution, AI and modern technologies will reshape economies, businesses and human interaction. For this session we are extremely delighted to have with us, और हम तालियों से हमारे ऑथर और डिस्कसेंट का स्वागत करेंगे। लेट्स वेलकम प्रांजल शर्मा जी इन कन्वर्सेशन विद अनिर्बान शर्मा जी। जोरदार तालियां, कम ऑन एवरीबॉडी। प्रांजल शर्मा जी, आप एक इकोनॉमिक एनालिस्ट हैं, एडवाइजर हैं, और एक ऐसे ऑथर हैं जो टेक्नोलॉजी, ग्लोबलाइजेशन और इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ पर फोकस करते हैं। आपने B20 इंडिया डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन टास्क फोर्स में सर्व किया है, और आप ग्लोबल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज और सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ के लिए सलाह भी देते हैं। His acclaimed book, The Next New, can we have the poster please of the book? The Next New, Navigating the Fifth Industrial Revolution, is the world's first to map the fifth industrial revolution and quantify global revenue shifts, earning endorsements from leading business leaders and global CEOs. उनकी क्लैरिटी और डेप्थ और कॉम्प्लेक्स सब्जेक्ट्स को समझने की एबिलिटी और इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी टेलिंग जो आप देखने वाले हैं, उस स्किल के साथ इस सेशन को एंगेजिंग, थॉट प्रोवोकिंग बनाएगी। एज द मॉडरेटर फॉर दिस सेशन वी आर डिलाइटेड टू हैव अनिर्बान शर्मा जी विद अस। हम इनसे कल मिल चुके हैं। He is a director, Center for Digital Societies at the Observer Research Foundation, working on AI, digital economy, platform governance, digital public infrastructure, and the future of work. He is also the co-author of Geotechnography. We had a wonderful discussion about the same yesterday, and आपके global digital infrastructure और cyber policy and innovation strategy कि कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी को समझने की डीप स्टडी इस सेशन को और भी ज्यादा एंगेजिंग बनाएगी। लेट्स गिव अ बिग हैंड टू बोथ आवर गेस्ट एवरीबॉडी। ओवर टू द जेंटलमैन।
Hi, Pranjal. Yes. Okay. All right. So, very good morning, everybody, and a warm welcome to this session. And as you can see, we'd like to do this standing up. All right. We've been sitting endlessly on chairs and sofas since yesterday, and I think that's beginning to affect our ability to think and speak clearly. So we wanted to do this way. And
we have to do this because we have to think on our feet.
we have to think on our feet. Yes, technology is an evolving subject, and we need to think on our feet, that too. So, we are here to talk about Pranjal's latest book, which is called The Next New, Navigating the Fifth Industrial Revolution. And that's the cover you can see there, all right? And we're going to take a good look at some of the trends that the book talks about in the course of our discussion. And this is really going to be very interactive. So we'd really welcome a lot of questions, comments from you in the course of the next 50 minutes, right? And many of these trends are actually defining and shaping our lives, our present and our future. So we really need to have young voices exploring these issues with us. Now, Pranjal, in case you didn't know, is a very prolific author, all right? And he's written a number of books, and this happens to be his third book on technology-led transformation. And HarperCollins published this book, and ever since it was published, it's actually received glowing reviews in the media and from all kinds of thought leaders, be it international organizations or industry leaders of various kinds. So, for example, let me just publicize the book a little before we begin talking about it. So the president of the World Economic Forum, for example, says that this is a compelling read for anyone who wants to understand the societal, economic, and technological transformations that are now ushering in a new era of opportunity. Quite a mouthful, that quote, all right? And there are others on the back cover of the book who have said that this is a book that absolutely needed to be written. Right. Now, the thing is, we've generally heard of the fourth industrial revolution. We may not know exactly what it means, but I suspect a number of us have at least heard that phrase. But what is much less known is that silently, a fifth industrial revolution has already begun and is well underway. And that's what we'd like to begin by trying to understand a little better. So, Pranjal, if you can take us through that with a few slides and explain what the fifth industrial revolution is about.
Sure, Anirban. Thank you so much. Can I request you, आप जरा slide चला देंगे? I don't want it पहले, इससे पहले वाला, सबसे पहले वाला.
Let's start from the first slide.
So, मैं चाहता हूँ ये भी कि हम लोग आपस में बातचीत भी करें. आपके अगर कुछ प्रश्न है तो उनका उत्तर देने के लिए मैं तैयार हूँ. कुछ आपके मन में शंकाएं हैं कि आगे क्या होगा क्या नहीं होगा, उस पर भी हम लोग बातचीत करेंगे. क्योंकि आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और जो औद्योगिक क्रांति है वो न केवल औद्योगिक जगत को किंतु हमारे सारे समाज को, सोच को भी बदल रही है. और मुझे लगता है कि अगर हम इस पर ध्यान नहीं दें तो हमारे लिए कठिनाई और बढ़ सकती है. तो लेकिन let's begin by understanding what is it. Next, please. So, how many of you know what is the four industrial revolutions? Sir?
Okay.
Internet of Things is one element of that. But what were the four industrial revolutions? What was 1, 2, 3, 4? What was 1, 2, 3? Anybody? It's there. The answer to the question is on the screen, so you can cheat and answer. But please go ahead. Any thoughts? जी. हाँ हो सकता है. But can you have the slide, please? ये वाला देखिए. So first industrial revolution was basically जब we started using steam power to power things. उससे पहले सब हाथ से काम होता था. And then energy was through steam. The second was when we started using electricity and then mass production happened. Factory बनने आरंभ हो गई. क्योंकि उस समय बिजली थी. बिजली के उपयोग से हम लोग वो कुछ बना सकते थे जो पहले सिर्फ हाथ से बनाते थे, जिसको हथकरघा उद्योग अभी हम कहते हैं, लेकिन पहले सब कुछ हाथ से बनता था. अब you could now with the second revolution you could use electricity and make things at mass scale. 10,000 cars, 10,000 chairs, 10,000 anything that you want instantly. Third was where the computers came into the picture, where you started using basic computers. Computing and chip became the third industrial revolution. And fourth was when these systems started talking to each other and there was connectivity to everything else. So that's the background, and that's broadly, but the most interesting thing we must understand is, look at the timeline. If you look at this graph, first it took more than 100 years, 200 years, but the subsequent revolutions are happening at shorter and shorter time phases, which means our ability to adapt is becoming less. The time required for us to adapt is becoming lesser. इतना जल्दी बदलाव हो रहा है कि हमको समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि हम इसको कैसे समझें और अपने आप को उसके अनुसार कैसे बदलें. So I think the challenge today is not that there is industrial revolution and technology, but the pace of change, which is creating a huge confusion, challenge and crisis for all of us. Next, please. So this is broadly the fourth industrial revolution. The technologies which are machine learning, IoT, data analytics, blockchain, 3D printing, AI, robotics, which we've seen, and this was in my first book called Kranti Nation, about how India was embracing this element of technology. तो भारतीय उद्योग जगत में हर जगह हो रहा है अब. एंड टुडे इफ वी नाउ कम टू द फिफ्थ इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन, I think there's an industrial revolution happening on the screen also, which refuses to adapt to change as we would like it to adapt. But fifth industrial revolution, I'll come to it in a minute, but basically the fifth industrial revolution is the fact that when these technologies came, you know what was the problem with this? Anybody take a guess? Partly, the problem with these technologies were that they had no control. You could just do anything on the internet, you could do anything with AI, you could do anything with IoT, you could do anything with your phone, you could do anything with the AI, but there was no control. The first phase when we started using mobile, सबसे बड़ा चिंता मोबाइल से हमको क्या हुई? मोबाइल से जो कूड़ा बन रहा था, लाखों करोड़ों में लोग मोबाइल का प्रयोग करते थे और उसको फिर कूड़े में फेंक देते थे. वो जो कूड़ा बना, which is electronic waste, उसका कोई उपाय नहीं था, क्योंकि जब ये बनाया गया था किसी ने ये नहीं सोचा कि ये जब इसका उपयोग बंद हो जाएगा तो हम क्या करेंगे इसका. So fifth industrial revolution, and hope that the screen will move to the next industrial revolution now.
Can we try and move on to the next
इसको
slide,
अगले
please?
इस पे ले आइए अगर ला सकते हैं तो जी.
Oh, we
अगला
managed
इससे
to do
अगला कर
that,
दीजिए
yeah.
जी. So basically this is the shift. The technologies of the fourth industrial revolution are at the center, लेकिन उस टेक्नोलॉजी को संभालने के लिए, उसको जकड़ने के लिए, उसको पकड़ने के लिए society and sustainability have come into the picture, which means that technology cannot work for itself. Technology has to be forced to work for people and the planet. अगर ये नहीं होगा तो it's like, you know, this electricity which is lighting up the room. What is the fundamental thing that we need when the electricity is there in the house or in your office? Any thoughts? What do we need? Wires? बिना तार के तो बिजली नहीं आएगी, लेकिन तार कैसा चाहिए आपको? तार में इंसुलेशन होना चाहिए. अगर आप तार में इंसुलेशन नहीं डालेंगे तो कैसे चलेगा? आग लग जाएगी और आप ही को शॉक लगेगा. So basically the fifth industrial revolution is that insulation around emerging technologies which is protecting us from the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution. If we do not do this, ये टेक्नोलॉजी हमको खा जाएगी और हम इसके गुलाम बन जाएंगे, जबकि हमको ये स्थिति बनानी चाहिए कि हम इसके ऊपर नियंत्रण रखें, ये हम पे नियंत्रण नहीं रखें. अभी लड़ाई चल रही है, अभी इसी पर हम लोग अभी और चर्चा करेंगे. सो बेसिकली planet, sustainability, people and society are the guardrails which control the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution, and together this is the fifth industrial revolution. Next, please. So ESG, you understand, which is supported by most of the investors, that every company should be very responsible in what it does. Technologies are fourth, and SDGs are the United Nations goals, Sustainable Development Goals. So you put all that together, it comes into fifth. Next, please. So this is broadly the economic architecture, what for those of you who are interested in economy, but this is how industries are changing. You know, you don't buy anything that you use. Yes, sir, please. Okay, previous slide.
Sure.
So I'm using a human interface to the person over there, which is linked through voice waves, not artificial intelligence.
This slide seems to suggest that the fifth revolution came by considering SDGs and all that. But if I'm like thinking on my own, the big tech companies are driving the fifth revolution on their own. They don't care about the SDGs and whatnot.
No, so that's a great point. So actually, the big tech companies are the fourth industrial revolution, because they are using technology for cost and productivity efficiency. They don't care about when it was created, they didn't care about what the impact on the society and the planet was. They were saying, can I make 200 million extra profit? Can I make 20% extra profit? Can I sack some people and improve my thing? Can I automate this and can I automate that? So the technology companies are actually being forced to now consider issues of society and sustainability. And if you see everywhere across, in every country, in every market across the world, this is happening. And as a result, the business models are also changing because companies cannot just say, well, I'm selling you this product, I don't care what happens to it. Companies now have to take ownership of the product and service they use and cannot say कि मैंने आपको mobile phone भेज दिया, अब आपकी दिक्कत है, आपको संभालना है. Now there is regulations coming in saying that how you dispose of the mobile phone is also your problem. And not just mobile phones, so many devices that we use. You know, how many of you have a wearable device? I have an old-fashioned watch, but आप लोगों के पास है? So that's the other challenge I'll come to. Why? You know what is the crisis with the watch you're wearing? Does it track your health parameters? No, but do you have a watch? Does anybody has a watch which tracks the health parameters?
Smartwatch, yeah.
You have that? Okay. Do you know what the danger in that is? No. So I can tap into all your data. I can tell whether you have a migraine, whether how is your body type, what kind of food you eat, whether you are worth employing or not. Because an insurance company or a company can hack into your data and say, well, this girl is a smart girl, but actually her health is going to be terrible because my analysis says that based on your parameters today, next 10 years, you're going to be permanently unwell. I'm not going to hire you. That is the crisis of the data technology and the information that we are creating today, which is what we've got to be very, very alert to. So we keep sharing information about ourselves all the time. So the point to answer your question is that companies created these products and services. They didn't care about what's going to happen to your data and your information, which is where the fifth industrial revolution comes in, that no, you have to take care of everything that you give. You cannot assume things will just be okay. Next, please. So the industries are changing, so the difference between a financial company and a technology company is changing. Autonomous means that, you know, everything is automated. Caring economy means what we're talking about, that you have to take care of people. You have to use technology for social inclusion. In the previous conversations, we were talking about society, culture, indigenous knowledge. Technology is actually helping that. So not all is bad. It's about how you use it. And subscription economy is today that, you know, when a lot of us were in the 20s, in the earlier era, first thing we wanted to do was buy a car. But today you don't have to buy a car because you're subscribing a car because you get a ride-sharing ability. Today, let's say, I'm sure all of you have got a car or vehicle in the house. Do you know what is the utilization, capacity utilization of a car? कोई भी गाड़ी अगर हमारे घर में है, उसका कितना प्रयोग होता है? कितने समय प्रयोग होता है? कितना उपयोग होता है? हाँ? Any other guess? Absolutely. It's less than 10%. 90% समय, 90% समय आपकी गाड़ी खड़ी रहती है. उसका कोई उपयोग नहीं है. What a waste. The moment it comes out of the showroom, the value of that vehicle drops. So the younger generation say, why do I buy a car when I can use it? So that's called the subscription economy, where you use it, but you don't acquire it. Next, please. This is how the things are changing. You know, now these global principles on digital safety are a very critical part of the fifth industrial revolution. आपने सुना होगा भी ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने एक नया नियम बनाया कि 16 वर्ष से कम के बच्चों को नहीं हम सोशल मीडिया पे जाने देंगे. और ये जो मैंने आपको दिखाया वाइट पेपर, ये उसकी उपज है. ये इसकी उपज है क्योंकि इस समय ये निर्णय लिया गया था कई देशों में, भारत में भी ऐसा होगा क्योंकि इससे हमारी मानसिकता बदल रही है. So social media platforms will say, no, it's open for everybody. But society is saying, no, I'm sorry. There is stuff over there which we cannot allow you to consume. There has to be some control, right? And you may not even realize it, but it is pointing you and taking you into a direction that you don't even realize. It's very, very subversive in a way. आपने कभी देखा होगा एक चीज पे क्लिक किया, उसी पर 10 और क्लिक्स आ जाते हैं. But it does not allow you to discover other elements. So that's a challenge. Next, please. So blended means that, you know, for example, Tata Steel is no longer going to make only steel, because they're going to make other other products, other materials, which are blended materials like graphite or ceramic. अब एक गाड़ियों में भी अगर आप देखें, गाड़ियों में भी केवल स्टील नहीं है, उसमें आपको बहुत अलग अलग तरीके के मटेरियल मिलेंगे. आगे नेक्स्ट प्लीज. So now I'm going to, this is at the closing of 2 or 3 slides about the world that we live in. I'm sure many of you will identify with it. We are living in the Gen AI bot world, and how many of you use any of these bots? आप सब लोगों ने इसका उपयोग किया for writing your papers, answer sheet, and everything. You know what the challenge is? A lot of authors are using the AIs to read it, to write. And I met some people who said, मैंने आपकी पुस्तक नहीं पढ़ी है, but मैंने उस पुस्तक का सार पढ़ा है Gen AI से. So Gen AI is writing and Gen AI is also reading. So you know, it is a very, very strange situation that we live in. So next please, I'll just take you through some thoughts. So there are lots of options over there. You know, so many companies have come up, Gemini, DeepSeek. On your phone you will see Grok, you will see Claude, you will see Perplexity. Even the search, internet search अब link पे नहीं होती है. हम लोगों ने link पे किया था. But today you just ask a question and the answer will pop up. There are no links. You know, Raghav, you remember when internet happened, we were all going online, searching for links, clicking on links and reading. Today, your phone, that blue circle on WhatsApp or Gemini, will just give you the answers. You don't care what the source is. Because you don't care what the source is, it's a crisis. Because you don't know what it took for information from. Next, please. So these are some of the comments which you see. You know, students in 2040, when they are asked what your name is, they'll have to search, "Arey, mera naam kya hai?" The ChatGPT server was down, so I don't know what's going on. But there was also a very interesting study which says that people who use ChatGPT or any of these Gen AIs are actually reducing their own thinking. सोचना क्या है, मैप में लिखा है, गूगल मैप ने बोला है अगर गाड़ी नाली में जाती है तो नाली में चली जाए, नदी में जाती है तो नदी में चली जाए, या खड्डे में जाती है तो उसमें चली जाए. लेकिन क्योंकि हम लोग खुद अपना नक्शा के बारे में सोचना हम बंद कर रहे हैं. I meet Uber drivers who actually have no idea where they're going. So, and they may not even know whether the road is on an elevated or is it an underpass. Anyway, next. So that's how things are happening right now. What is the formula of area of circle? ChatGPT says that, you know, you ask too many questions, you don't even know what the answers are. And even termination letters, as I was saying, are written by ChatGPT. Next, please. But I'm closing on the point, मैंने बिजली के बारे में कहा था, but आग भी वही है. If you do not channelize the fire, you will be burned down. So fifth industrial revolution, and I'll close on this, is about channelizing, controlling, insulating technology to make it work for us, so that the technology works for us, we don't work for the technology. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranjal. And you know, I mean, we're just going to run through a few quick questions with Pranjal, and then we will open up to all of you, all right, to ask him anything.
And anybody who
Like-
disagrees with me and Anirban, please feel free to raise and say, look,
Yeah,
that
just,
all that you said is completely out of the box. We don't believe in it. But please tell me an argument against it.
Yeah, you know, we want this session to be a little unruly, so just come in wherever you want.
Just don't
Stop us,
don't throw things at us. That's all.
interrupt us, quarrel, argue, whatever, all right? So, well, let's get started. Pranjal, I wanted to go back to your slide about the economic architecture of the fifth industrial revolution, and what is at the basis of it all is talent, all right? So we can make out that, you know, the fifth industrial revolution will be driven largely by the present generation, youth, Gen Z, millennials, all right? So what are the kind of skills and knowledge they need to equip themselves with to be able to drive the 5IR better?
So they will not just drive it, but they will also face it.
Yeah.
So all of us who are, anybody who is under 40 today has a much longer runway to live through this revolution. And the joke is also that if this fifth industrial revolution fails, basically it means if the insulation fails, then there is going to be a crisis. We will not exist in the way that we do. But talent, I think, is a very critical part of it. How do we make ourselves relevant to what the changes are? Because in my view, and please, again, I'm happy to have a discussion, concept of employment, degree, job is gone. A degree that you get today will not be relevant 6 months from now. So Of course, this is an era of continuous learning, but what are you going to learn? Second is job as a concept is a 18th century concept, which was created when factories were there. 9 to 5 आप आइए, 5 to 9 ये लोग आएंगे. But today that's not there, and part of that was accelerated by COVID. You have a set of skill, you want to contribute to an organization, the organization pays you for that, and that's how you earn your livelihood. So the question is, when you get into a job, typically हाँ हमको जो नौकरी मिल गई ना, मैंने सोचना बंद कर दिया, मैंने सीखना बंद कर दिया. क्यों? क्योंकि नौकरी मिल गई है, मैं क्यों सीखूं? हमारी आयु के कई सारे लोग हैं जो 30, 20, 15 वर्ष पहले जिन्होंने डिग्री ली थी, उसके बाद सीखा ही नहीं आगे कुछ. उन्हीं लोगों की नौकरियां जा रही हैं. आप जो पढ़ रहे हैं आजकल, लोगों की नौकरियां जा रही हैं. हर वर्ग के लोगों की नौकरियां क्यों जा रही हैं? क्योंकि उन्होंने सीखना बंद कर दिया. कुछ काम उनके खत्म ही हो गए. उन किसी का काम था सिर्फ चेक पे साइन करना, वो चेक साइन करने की आवश्यकता ही नहीं, क्योंकि हम लोग डिजिटल पेमेंट करते हैं. सो the thing is, Anirban, to answer your question, there will be a huge need for all of us, and I would say whether you're 20 or you're 70, for us to reorient ourselves to the new reality and change our own set of skills to be able to deliver it to an organization and an entity which has mutual value.
Right. Now, you know, a lot of the innovation in high tech in the fifth industrial revolution is actually going to be driven by startups. We need more agile companies doing this, because the big legacy companies, big tech, are a little behind the game when it comes to things like this. Now, it's great to be having this discussion in Bhopal, because in case you didn't know, MP actually has one of the fastest and largest growing startup ecosystems in India at the moment, all right? And there are more than 5,000 startups in your state at the moment, which is great. 72 incubators, which is fantastic by any standard. And Bhopal and Indore have actually emerged as the most vibrant cities in the state where startups are coming up and thriving. So, you know, Pranjal, in your opinion, what does sort of a city or a region need to do to put itself better on the map of the fifth industrial revolution?
See, I think first is that what Indian companies are doing and Indian startups are doing is solving India's own problems. You know, पहले कुछ दशक थे जब बाहर की टेक्नोलॉजी आती थी, उसको हम किसी तरह अपने लिए उसको उपयोग में लाते थे, थोड़ा बदलते थे, और कभी काम होता था, उससे कभी नहीं होता था. But today the new technologies allow us to solve for our own challenges. If there's an education problem, how do we use the Jam Trinity to bring education through remote learning? अगर स्वास्थ्य की कठिनाई है तो हम कैसे स्वास्थ्य के solutions AI से सामने लाएं? पहले अभी कल्चर की बात हो रही थी, अब संगीत की बात करें, कला की बात करें, हर वर्ग में, हर क्षेत्र में आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और टेक्नोलॉजी हमको हमारी सहायता कर सकती है, अगर हम समझें कि कैसे हमारा उद्देश्य क्या है. पहले आप उद्देश्य समझें कि आप करना क्या चाहते हो, उसमें फिर आप देखिए कि टेक्नोलॉजी आपकी क्या सहायता कर सकती है. एक और गलती लोग करते हैं कि नहीं मुझे AI लगाना है. इट्स लाइक सेइंग आई वांट टू बाय अ कार विदाउट रियलाइजिंग व्हाट यू नीड द कार फॉर. Do you need it to go to office, or do you need it to go for a holiday? Do you want to use it for F1 racing, or do you want to take your kids to school? तो टेक्नोलॉजी में भी हमको सोचना पड़ेगा कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी किस उद्देश्य के लिए ले रहे हैं. पहले अगर आपको उद्देश्य तय हो, तब आप सोचें कि अच्छा इसमें कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी मुझे अपने उद्देश्य के निकट ले जा सकती है. So that's the key point.
All right. Now, yes, okay, please come in. We'll take a couple of questions at this point, yeah.
And the change it is going to bring to the world economic order. I'm just curious to know what impact it is going to bring to the Indian economic ecosystem. And the reason I'm asking this question is, so far we have said that the advantage of the Indian economy is the demographics, the population, what we are having. But जब हम बहुत ध्यान से देखते हैं तो what AI is going to do, it is going to reduce down number of employed workforce as it is going to increase the productivity.
जी, मैं समझ गया आपका प्रश्न. मैंने पहले यही कहा था that employment as a concept will not grow. What Indian industry and the policymakers have to come together is to see how do we create opportunities for work. Opportunity for work should be the theme. not to give a job. I don't need a job. I gave up a full-time job, few years ago. I am part of the gig economy, for example, right? So the point is that for the younger generation, we have a talent pool who can be used for a lot of interesting activities. Plus, the demographic dividend is also from a economic consumer perspective. An economy which does not have consumers is going to collapse. And you see that in many of the legacy economies. I divide the world into categories, legacy economies and growth economies. We are in the growth region. Legacy economies, जिनको उतना उड़ान भरनी थी भर लिया, अब उससे ऊपर नहीं जा रहे, अब सब नीचे ही आ रहे हैं. So that will change, but we can have a more longer conversation. I think there were some other questions I'd like to come to.
Few more questions here.
I'm Raghav Chandra. My question to you, Pranjal, and thank you very much for an excellent presentation, is we've spoken about the first, the second, the third, the fourth industrial revolution, which have been characterized by some societies and some nations being more advanced than others because they captured the industrial revolution better, whether it was the manufacturing industrial revolution or the advanced tech industrial revolution. Now with tech having achieved the ubiquitous or the all-pervasive status that it has, AI and all that, will this have a more level playing field, will provide a more level playing field to all economies, or will it again be restricted to some only? Temporarily I can understand that those nations like the US, etc., and China, which are more advanced in terms of fab manufacturing, in terms of AI, they may have an initial lead, but sooner or later you can't control it. So will it have an all-pervasive, ubiquitous, and more critically, a leveling role, and thereby reducing the disparities between economies, or will the disparities, both in tech and in economic development, continue?
Great point, excellent point. I'll break it into 3 points. First, we heard Prasenjit yesterday talking about how we, if you look at economic history, 1,000 years ago, we were one of the biggest economies in the world. We had best manufacturing in textile and shipbuilding. It was physically destroyed by the Brits. The Britishers came and set looms on fire. Aag laga di thi. Shipping industry, we had the best ships in the world. Aag laga di thi. Literally aag laga di thi. You can read on those facts. So we missed that second phase of industrial revolution. Now, the technologies, and then there was a phase when we were buying technology from everybody else. So it was called tech transfer, used to be a huge thing. अरे विदेशी लोगों के पास जाके हाथ जोड़ते थे, आप थोड़ी सी टेक्नोलॉजी हमको दे दीजिए, हम कुकर बना सकते हैं, गैस बना सकते हैं, तेल बना सकते हैं. अब वो भी हम आगे उससे आ गए हैं. Today, the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution are egalitarian. सब लोग इसका विकास कर सकते हैं, इसका उपयोग कर सकते हैं. लेकिन the need for this, Raghav, for us to be able to exploit, we still need 2 or 3 elements. One, you talked about talent. We have to invest in talent who will be able to use and develop products and services out of that technology. अगर हमको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा AI क्या है तो हम उससे आगे बढ़ाएंगे क्या? दूसरा, we have to invest in digital and physical infrastructure to enable that to happen. So telecom connectivity. Second, we need to have compute power. आपने अभी पढ़ा होगा कि भारतीय सरकार जो है वो GPU खरीद रही है, चिप्स खरीद रही है. अब आप पूछेंगे सरकार को चिप्स खरीदने की क्या आवश्यकता है? Because chips work at such high computing speed that it will create a common pool so that a lot of you who want to use high computing services, what you cannot individually afford, will be available as an offering. So then that's the second element, Raghav, that we need to invest in that, and part of that is happening. And finally, is about creating manufacturing capabilities. We cannot remain dependent or over-dependent on external suppliers. अगर सब कुछ बाहर से आएगा तो वो आपको blackmail कर सकते हैं. आज अगर आप देखें, and I'm connecting this going further, Raghav, a little bit to the geopolitics which Anirban referred to yesterday. Venezuela में क्या हो रहा है? Greenland में क्या हो रहा है? Any thoughts? Why is this happening? So why do we need natural resources? Sorry?
To sustain growth,
No, but what kind of growth?
what kind of industrial growth?
Ultimately, it's about tech platforms. It's about your devices. It's about AI. It's about data centers because they will run on the rare earths and minerals which are going to be used for manufacture. चाइना ने बोल दिया हमारे पास है 70% of rare earths are with us, हम आपको नहीं देंगे, कर लो जो करना है. वो ब्लैकमेल हो गया. It is also called weaponizing. अब अमेरिका कह रहा है यार उन्होंने तो पूरा अपना पकड़ के रख लिया है, हमारा क्या होगा? अब हम वेनेजुएला से छीनेंगे या ग्रीनलैंड से छीनेंगे? क्योंकि अगर हमने नहीं छीना तो हमारा भविष्य जो है संकट में. Therefore, even a country like India has to make sure that we have our own capabilities as much as possible. We cannot be completely cut off from the rest of the world as a closed economy like China, and we also cannot be completely open like Europe and US. We have to create our own model. But that's a long discussion.
So there is a joke going on for some few months that intelligence can be artificial but stupidity remains original.
Yes.
So this is a stupid question कि यदि AI नहीं होता
जी
जिन्होंने भी originate किया because we are seeing all kinds of threats and dangers.
जी
तो क्या हमारी हर तरीके की ग्रोथ रुक जाती है? हमारी मतलब अमेरिका की, हमारी चाइना की, इजराइल की, सब यदि AI नहीं होता मान लीजिए तो so I was wanting to some kind of an academic this thing. See, there was no AI. तो क्या क्या रुक जाता हमारा?
See, once we started the concept of software as an idea, using a chip to create algorithms which will do simple tasks, from basic word processing, which is like a typewriter but an electronic typewriter, AI को कहीं ना कहीं तो आना ही था. So the concept कि नहीं आए तो क्या होता वो सोचना बहुत कठिन है. But it is a reality, and in some way it would have happened whether we like it
Can
or
you
not.
can you foresee the next step of AI if not the revolution?
See, I think this is the challenge. What we have to anticipate and plan is how do we control AI rather than AI controlling us.
Precisely.
That is the biggest crisis in the country and the world today. I have had conversations with very senior technology leaders in different parts of the world who have confessed that sometimes they don't know the impact of what they have created. Exactly, it's like saying कि मैंने कुछ बना तो दिया है, लेकिन इससे लोगों पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं पता. So it's like a person who creates a gun. Maybe did it for self-defense, but it was used for offense. So any of the younger people have a question?
Yes, he has been waiting since a long time.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you, Pranjal sir. Crystal clear explanation of the fifth revolution. Coming back to your slide about Gen AI bots, right? With the quality of bots, with the kind of content they are generating, with the kind of images they are generating, right? Let's say, take an example of an image. The kind of images that they are generating and the models are improving at a crazy fast pace, right? How will we actually identify after a few weeks, months, years if an image is actually AI generated or a original image? Think
So
of,
A, it will not be possible. B, again, as part of fifth industrial revolution and insulation, as I say, regulation is coming in, including Government of India has now said that any software that you create and that is used to create an image or content should have a watermark to say that this is artificially created. अगर वो watermark, अगर वो symbol नहीं होगा तो आपको नहीं पता चलेगा.
got it, makes sense. But this means the government is doing actions to make sure they identify between the AI generated and the
Yes,
original.
it's a struggle because अगर आप उनको ज़्यादा रोकेंगे तो फिर बोलते हैं देखिए हमारी अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता आप रोक रहे हैं. Everything then boils down to freedom of speech and freedom of expression, which kind of is a very confusing area to be in.
So, Pranjal, just building on the last couple of points,
Please let me know when to stop.
We have 5 to 10 minutes in
Yes,
hand, so feel free to ask your questions.
I
वहाँ
think
पीछे
there
से
are two
भी एक
questions,
सवाल है.
Anirban, over there.
all right,
So,
yeah.
we
I just
will
wanted
let-
to carry on about the risks. On your last slide, you had this picture of two Stone Age parents worried about their children's growing addiction to technology. But, at a deeper level, we're talking mostly about the positives. Like, what about the risks emerging from the digital world and from AI? This inability to distinguish from, false images from real ones is one. What are some of the other big ones, to your mind?
So Lots. I think, see, misinformation is very important, but I think if you look at it from a society and cultural and historical perspective, our point of view and opinion in a democracy is formed by facts. Correct? जो हमको जानकारी मिलती है, उसी पर हमारी जो सोच है वो बनाई जाती है. लेकिन अगर वो जानकारी ही अगर बिगड़ जाए, उसका स्रोत ही अगर बिगड़ जाए, तो आप क्या करेंगे? So if the source of the facts which is being offered to you itself has been compromised, and somebody, and that refers to what you said, if I see a video of somebody outside Bharat Bhavan being attacked, and it's being played out over here, do I believe it or do I not believe it? So I think the biggest risk for all of us is to ensure that we keep applying our brains and not accept everything that we see or hear. We have to look for us. So we cannot be passive consumers of information. We will have to be proactive consumers of information so that we ensure that we are not led, misled, and misinformed. So I think that's one of the biggest risks. The second big risk, I think, is that being complacent. There's no problem, you know, I have done what I have to do, I know everything. This I know everything concept is going to be the end of humans. You have to figure out and realize that things are going to change constantly, and therefore our ability to keep the responsibility of keeping yourself relevant to the situation is yours. It's not somebody else's. कोई और आके आपके मुंह में खाना नहीं डालेगा. And your skills, like I showed in the first and second and third revolution, 100 वर्ष तक कोई बदलाव नहीं था. लेकिन अब 2 वर्ष में, 6 महीने में, 3 महीने में, 3 हफ्तों में बदलाव हो जाता है. तो आप अपने आप को कैसे खुद को बदलेंगे? I think that becomes a very critical risk.
Okay, we had a couple of hands
There's some
up there.
questions
Yes,
over there.
Gentleman at the back. Yeah. Please give the mic to sir. Pass on to him. Yes.
So
Yes,
I'd
sir.
like to ask a question that, you know, the AI in industrial revolution has actually bypassed our main focus. India and MP is suffering from hunger and poverty. As sir mentioned that we have about 5,000 startups in MP and one of the leading states in startups. We also have a very, very impossible task that we are highest in the area of malnutrition. So does the AI and industrial revolution look into it, or we are going to bypass it and go further?
So,
Your
quick
comments.
short answer, you have to use technology to serve these purposes. Whoever is in charge, whether the government, legislators, policymakers, industry, philanthropists, have to understand how can we use technology to reduce at a higher pace issues of malnutrition and education.
Yes. Next, please. We have 5 minutes in hand, so yeah.
What type of legal safeguards are required for ethical and humane rollout of the AI revolution? Like EU has come up with the AI Act. So we cannot take for granted that the corporates will not prioritize their profit motive, come what may.
So you're right, sir. I mean, we have, if you have been following, you will realize that we have now a DPDP Act, which is ensuring that digital privacy and data protection is the high priority for everybody, and that is forcing every company, from the company that is tracking your health information from your watch, to the company that is giving you a job or giving you a work, or the cars that you're taking to a certain place. I can track wherever you've been on your Uber history. And forget Uber, even on your phone. You know, your phone is tracking what you're doing all the time. Who has that information? Do you want every single act of yours to be available to a second person, whether it's your sister, brother, husband, wife, parent? No. So that information has to be very, very, it's private information. I should have the right to choose to offer that information to whoever I want. Having said that, there are now rules coming in where you're saying that I can take the data of all the people in this hall, anonymize it, and analyze it to see how many people were on their phone while I was talking and how many were not. Right? So there are various structures which are coming through, which is where regulation and laws will be done, and that is the 5th industrial revolution, the pushback from society, governance, that technology cannot be allowed to run amok.
But the most important thing is the way people are fearing that AI would have a stress on the employment situation. And so there should be a cap on the utilization of AI in a manner that sustainable employment is not lost.
That's a thought. I can't agree with it completely, but we can have a discussion on that later. I don't think we can do that because I don't think employment as a concept will stay for very long.
Okay.
Yes,
Any
ma'am.
last questions,
Yeah, I
please?
think
Yes.
She has a question.
Last one.
And there's one question here as well. I think she has a question.
Okay, so we'll try to make it crisp, please.
Why don't I collect both the questions and then we can, I try to answer both.
Okay, my question is very simple. You said that AI is reducing that creativity and all. मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर AI ये सब कर रहा है तो हम उससे कैसे प्रोटेक्ट हो सकते हैं? बिकॉज एज यूथ अब यूथ भी डिपेंडेंट हो चुका है AI पे. हर छोटी से छोटी चीज़ के लिए वी हैव टू आस्क AI. उस चीज़ पे कंट्रोल कैसे आएगा?
प्रांजल जी, I would just like to add up to that question. मैं थोड़ी सी लिबर्टी लेना चाहूँगा as an anchor. जब ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, Claude की बात हो रही थी, तो मेरे मन में भी ख्याल है कि for me it acts as a naive assistant to me. मेरे भले ही बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स टास्क को अगर मुझे 10 टॉप इवेंट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज की लिस्ट बनानी विद देयर ईमेल्स, इट गिव्स मी एन एक्सेल टू द सिंपलेस्ट ऑफ टास्क कि मुझे क्या पहनना है, क्या मेरे पे अच्छा लगेगा, इट हेल्प्स मी. एंड मुझे ऐसे भी लगता है इट गेट्स इजीली मैनिपुलेटेड द वे आई वांट माय आंसर्स टू बी. और मुझे कई बार लगता है कि यार AI is stupider than we think it is, क्योंकि लोग बोलते हैं बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, बट कभी-कभी रिस्पॉन्सेस से मुझे ऐसा लगता है. So is that really killing the creativity, or it is acting as a tool to ease in our work and daily life?
So creativity is not being hurt by AI, it is being improved. But your own creativity can be accelerated in the way you use AI. अगर आप आंखें बंद करके सब कुछ उसी पे डाल देंगे कि वही मेरे लिए सोचेगा, तो आपका अपना जो दिमाग है वो क्या करेगा? It's when you go to any place, you ask questions. The kind of questions you ask will determine the answers you get. अगर आप मूर्ख प्रश्न पूछेंगे तो आपको मूर्ख उत्तर मिलेगा. अगर आप अच्छा प्रश्न पूछेंगे आपको अच्छा उत्तर मिलेगा उसका. सारे जो बॉट्स हैं उसमें भी अगर आपने सही प्रश्न पूछा, उसके बाद उसका जो उत्तर भी आया, आपको सोचना पड़ेगा क्या ये उत्तर सही है, मुझे और उसमें गहराई में जाना है, इसके और अलग जो आयाम है उनको मुझे समझना है. So don't use it as an assistant, but don't use it as a crutch. If you use it as a crutch, then you will hobble the rest of your life. If you use it as an assistant, you will improve your own capability. It's like using a pen or using a typewriter. You know, we've used different technologies to improve our productivity. Simple thing like a car and walking. If you're using a car even to go for a 500-meter distance, then you are incapable of walking. So you have to then use your intelligence to see how do I use this technology in the sensible way. Don't be blindly dependent and don't accept everything that they create.
Thank you. We'll just move towards the last question, please. Quickly. 2 minutes left, please.
I think ma'am over there also has a question, but go ahead, please.
Sir, my name is Aditi, and I had this question that we often talk about how, let's say when computers were introduced, we as a generation were taught how to use computers as a tool. And, you know, we were trained to use PowerPoint or Excel and things like that. And now they talk about that how when AI is introduced, students should also be trained regarding that. But we're still figuring out how that should be included in our educational system. By the time they figure out a way to include AI into the education system, our generation would probably be quite ahead in time. And for that time being, when they're figuring out this complex task, how should our generation move forward or, you know, learn how to use AI as a tool? Because right now we've been taught prompting or things like that, but not how to use it effectively as a tool like we use computers or other technologies.
So, you know, answer to this will take a 3-day seminar. Okay, so I can't assume to know everything to answer that, but broadly what you're saying is exactly what we were referring to. The pace of change is very rapid. What was very new in the 90s when mobile phones came, only a few people had it. You know, the charge for one mobile phone call was 65 rupees per unit, per minute.
Yes.
And for a long while, even incoming calls were not free. Right? But today we use a WhatsApp call or an internet call without even thinking. Right? I remember when I was in media in 2000 something, we used to do these futuristic stories on how very soon you will be able to do a video call on your mobile phone. What a fantastic thing it was. But today we are moving so fast. So Gen AI as a concept 2 years ago, you didn't even know about it. Did you know about ChatGPT 2 years ago? You did not. So the point is that you will have to change and be very alert to what is happening. AI is coming into the curricula. I read a report that the Ministry of Education is bringing AI for people to start understanding it. First you have to understand it, then know how to use it. My belief is that how we use it and how we learn to use it will remain the most critical element. But we can have a longer chat offline. Sure.
Which is, China has 70% rare earths, US is trying to annex. What about India? How are we placed? What are we doing about it?
So I think some of that information is publicly available. Some of that information includes that we have found some reserves of important elements. We've actually had a rare earth company for almost 40 years. One of the first companies, PSUs, to be set up by the government was Indian Rare Earths Limited. You can look it up. So the point is that we've had that, but it was for some reason neglected because people didn't feel it. But suddenly the need for it is so right, front and center that the government is investing a lot, from what I can see. At the same time, we'll have to get into partnerships. No country can be completely self-dependent on it. But thankfully, India doesn't have an expansionist policy, so I don't see India going and conquering other countries and kidnapping presidents and prime ministers to take control of their natural resources. India has never done that. So I think that partnerships and our own investment and capability would be very critical.
So time is up, but I can't simply say no to your bright smile, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Sir, I will come to the first.
थोड़ा mic नजदीक कर लीजिए.
I will come to the first opening line that you said that जो भी technology आई वो extension of our limbs के रूप में आई. उसका हर invention extension of our limbs के रूप में था, and AI should also, as you say, remain as the extension of our limbs. Our creativity should be hard.
आपने जो कहा बहुत सही है.
That's what you want to say.
आरंभ में जो तकनीक आई थी वो हमारे हाथ और पैर का काम करती थी. अब वो दिमाग और मस्तिष्क का काम करती है. पहले हम चलना नहीं चाहते थे तो हमने गाड़ी बना दी. हम मोमबत्ती नहीं जलाना चाहते थे तो बिजली बना दी. लेकिन अब जो सोच है वो भी एआई के माध्यम से हो रही है. जो इन्होंने जो प्रश्न किया था कि अगर एआई ही सारी कलाकृति, लेखन सब अगर एआई करेगा तो हम क्या करेंगे. लेकिन हमको भी ये देखना पड़ेगा कि हम इसका प्रयोग कैसे करते हैं. अगर हम अपनी बुद्धि को एक तरफ रख दें और सब कुछ इसी पर निर्भर हो जाएं तो मुझे लगता है मानवता का भविष्य थोड़ा संकट में हो सकता है.
On that very note,
thank you so much.
Please give it up for Pranjal ji and Anirban ji for such an engaging discussion. I would like to invite the director of the festival, Mr. Raghav Chandra ji, on stage to help us present a token of love and appreciation to our author and the discussant. Please keep the applause going, everybody. I'm so happy to have this session as with rather an unconventional approach of getting away with the chairs and tables and actually thinking on your feet. That was an extremely engaging session. The memento that you see is created by Gond artist Padma Shri Durgabai Vyam ji, jinse hum kal रूबरू हुए थे. It is titled as Little Godlaiya, a story of devotion, and if you can see closely, it depicts a tiny bird loved by Bhangsu, which is transformed by the tribal god Burradev into a beautiful maiden, bringing joy to him and his struggling family. Thank you so much, gentlemen. That was a wonderful discussion. And इसी के साथ हम तालियां, of course, तालियों में कंजूसी बिल्कुल नहीं होनी चाहिए. That's the least we can do to appreciate the efforts of the festival. and I'll hand over this mic to my wonderful co-host Parul.
कस्टमर के साथ हर कंडीशन में हो,
जो एनवायरमेंटली कॉन्शियस